I'm Brooke Wallace filling in for Max Brantley with your Arkansas Times news headline updates for Thursday, January the 30th. The first suspected case in Arkansas of the new coronavirus remains under investigation. Department of Health spokesperson Danielle McNeil today confirmed that the patient became sick after returning home from a trip to China. The patient is now in isolation at a hospital where testing was administered for the novel form of coronavirus first identified in Wuhan, Hubei province, China. Respiratory and serum samples from the patient were sent to the Federal Centers for Disease Control and Prevention lab in Atlanta for testing, McNeil said. Results are expected back tomorrow. Governor Hutchinson announced a new $20 million matching grant from the Walton Family Foundation today to complete the 84.5-mile Delta Heritage Trail in East Arkansas. The State Parks Department plans to apply for federal grants to match the Walton money. There are currently 44 completed miles of the trail. The new money will allow for additional 40 to be completed over the next 5 years. In a meeting Wednesday afternoon, the State Medical Marijuana Commission voted to issue a 5th dispensary license to Southeast Arkansas's Zone 7, in which only one of the Zone's 4 licensed dispensaries has opened for business. Justin Smith, a nurse at Arkansas Children's Hospital, moved to issue the additional license, and the 5-member commission approved the motion unanimously. Well, the Trump administration today announced a plan to allow states to convert some Medicaid funding to block grants, which would slash funding for low-income adults covered by the program. States will be allowed to apply for waivers from the federal government to implement block grant funding for non-disabled people 19 to 64 covered by the program. Under current law, the federal government provides an open-ended match for state spending on Medicaid programs. Block grants would set a hard cap on the amount of money that the state receives from the federal government, forcing states to either spend more to make up the gap or implement cuts to services. The Trump administration claims this will magically lead to efficiencies and that no one will suffer. Well, at a press conference this morning, Senators Cecile Bledsoe and several conservative state and faith leaders warned Arkansans about the dangers of marijuana and implored voters not to sign petitions in favor of legalizing the drug. Bledsoe began her comments by reminding attendees that marijuana is a, quote, gateway drug, saying that the potency of the drug has changed since the 1970s, and putting an initiative on the November ballot to recreationally legalize it is irresponsible and very poor public policy. She also said the process of getting an amendment on the ballot has been usurped by money and that true grassroots efforts of citizens gathering signatures to get laws changed is hard to find, end quote. Well, that's all your news for today. You can read more on the Arkansas blog. And also, our first night of the Musicians Showcase starts tonight at Sticky Fingers at 8 p.m. We hope to see you there. Thanks and see you tomorrow.